Discussion of dance scene violence and the desire for safe dance spaces. The social dance scene is a fragile environment that succeeds where many forms of diverse human interaction cannot do the same. Normally separated portions of society are brought together for the goal of having fun. The event becomes a supportive environment unto itself, and in this, becomes a safe dance community. Borrowing from the about text in an online group, a safe dance community is, quote, honoring the needs of its members for safety, respect, and empowerment, both physical and mental. Doing so requires taking into account the influence of race, class, gender, disability, age, and sexual orientation, as well as social capital, based on position in the community and/or technical skill, unquote. Towards these ends, the whole wellness of the dance community is the responsibility for both dancers and dance organizers. Social dance is not there to cater to the malignant dancer that personifies physical, verbal, or emotional violence. When transgressions do occur, perpetrated by the harmful person in the dance scene, the damage extends beyond the victims. The single victim of abuse is a myth. It is more probable that continued misbehavior is systemic to the attacker, and it is likely others have either been impacted or have noticed the same behavior. Unfortunately, the dance scene becomes associated with the violence, opposite of what it desires to nurture. The impact of a violent person cannot be underestimated. What is violence in the dance scene? I believe that violence can encompass anything that makes a person feel unsafe. This can happen in several ways. An all too common example would be inappropriate physical contact. Another example would be unwelcomed flirtations and come-ons. Yet another example would be aggressive dance moves that are painful or are threatening to overall well-being. Lastly, violence can in the form of words that attack the identity or the value of a person. All of these create a situation that causes the victim to feel vulnerable, isolated, and violated. The first response to these attacks comes from the person experiencing the violence. While the victim is in no way responsible for the attacks, they can take personal agency in addressing the violation. They have the opportunity to state their discomfort or pain regarding the action. The perpetrator then may react in a way that corrects the violent actions. Mistakes may be made without malicious intent. Nobody comes into the social dance scene with full knowledge of appropriate decorum. Lessons are learned along the way. In a perfect world, the submitted feedback addresses the transgression and informs the prevention of further violence. The groping ceases, the flirtations stop, and unwanted dialogue is put aside. Unfortunately, the world is not perfect. The social dance scene is an oasis for marginalized people who are threatened or intimidated by the social circles outside of dance. Differences between race, class, gender, disability, age, and sexual orientation are collapsed. The goal of dance becomes a shared enjoyment. The dialogue is not one of differences. Instead, the cooperative effort of dance embraces the goal of finding common ground in the resulting music and motion. This inclusiveness is welcomed by those seeking harbors. For myself, exploration of my trans-femme side was facilitated by supportive dance scenes that allowed me to state, publicly, an expression of myself. There was no way this could have happened outside the world of social dancing, and because of this, I more so wish only safety for other dancers. What happens if violent actions continue? What happens if the actions are purposely initiated or if there is a baseline behavior that can't be shaken? Dance scenes have organizers that should address the resulting unsafe dance space. They have options, with the greatest being the expulsion of the perpetrator. I'm comfortable with safe space policies removing destructive people, so the larger body experiences the full benefits of social dance. The alternative, allowing known toxic people to remain, does drive away the vibrant people that the dance scene supports, those very people that are marginalized and attacked by a greater world. I adore the acceptance of social dance scenes, and I believe everything should be done to foster the same.